Now the circle is complete and the trees begun to grow again. The path is now open, and so the symbol of the journey must change. Now the beginning is tied to the end. The deep city breathes. Uru again. Do you believe?
Hello there. This is your Phantom Safety Pin. And welcome back to Let's Play Uru Complete Chronicles. And these sticks are still here. These sticks will always be here. They are the eternal sticks. They will exist forever. Forever and ever. But we're back here on Relto. And as we've been here on Relto, we've been kind of thinking about what next to do. Having a lot of time to wait and chill and see what's up. Kind of see what's up with the world and things we're going to be doing next. And what we are going to be doing next is, let me hang on, I want to double check my my controls of my key here. Or I can just mouse over it and have the key. That's right. Figure, might as well take a nice photo with my key for posterity's sake. Yes. So you've got a few images. But we're not here to do that today. We're not here to do that today. We're here to... How do I cancel out? Ah, yes. We're not here to do that today. We're here to go elsewhere. Today, we're here to seek the path of the shell. Oh, I did forget that I got this for you, and I will show you what it does. It is a cannon. It's a Dunny musical player. Play some music for us. I believe in other versions of... You can actually put music into the files and have it play whatever you want it to play. I believe actually in... Mola, it plays Gen's theme. You could also get it to play the Condition Gallery theme. I might be wrong. But we got a musical player, which is nice. Nothing that's important to us right now. Today, we seek the path of the shell. And in seeking the path of the shell, I'm going to tell you there's going to be quite a lot of stuff we need to do, and a lot of photos we're going to need to take. So you're going to be seeing me use the key a lot. First off, nope. That's wrong. Try again. Try again, please. There we go. Much better. So we're going to need that image for later. But it's not super relevant right now. Right now, we are currently in the water sanctuary. Now, I mean, if you watched my video earlier about... Ooh. A tree. A big tree. Well, we know what trees mean in the Dunny culture. They're very important. There's a gateway of some sort for that tree. I think that tree's going to be our destination. Ooh, what's this? 138. Interesting. Now that either looks like a time, perhaps? Or perhaps it looks something like a... Ooh, nice jacket. I look very Indiana Jones like this. But yes, but those are not times. Those are actually prevalent to the parables in the Parables of the Watcher. If we go back to our Relto right now, we would see them. We're not going to go back to our Relto right now. There's a lot of stuff we need to do. Involves looking around. So this is important, because we're going to need it for later. Not right now, though. Now, the Watcher was considered kind of a pivotal figure in the Prophecy of the Grower, in that he was a guy who foresaw the coming of the Grower, and in foreseeing the coming of the Grower, he also foresaw the fall of Dunny. And he wrote the parables of the Path of the Shell to seek out the truth of the Grower, basically. He's that guy who said, I watched for like 600 days or whatever. And he could not, of course, prevent the fall of Dunny, but he could cause... He could kind of, like, give parables about it. And so the Path of the Shell is all about his explorations and his journey. Oh, that's very interesting. There's a doorway. Looks like some kind of clock. That might be relevant. I'm going to keep that in mind. Oh, that looks like a ball of some sort. Oh, we can push it. 1, 4. Good to know. Probably another parable. Huh. What is over here? I'm curious. It's hard to see, but there is something here. Oh, looks like it turns on a light of some sort. But we're not gonna be able to do anything with this light right now. I will keep it in mind. You will be doing something with that light later. Why don't I push this ball? I'm curious. Can I move forward faster? I can't really move faster. Now, I will say trying to push this ball up this ramp is futile. There's no reason to do it. Goes quite a ways. I will do it anyway for you to show what happens. You'll notice there's like some meter marks on the wall. That's very purposeful. This whole thing is a clock-type mechanism. A lot of stuff that you're going to see in this this set of the game's ages is a clock-like mechanism. Spirals as well. And you will notice also, you push it all the way, and it does not fit in the hole. In fact, the ball will probably start to roll down. We'll start to roll down the hole in a second here. But it is not. You can even hear it kind of going down the hole. So that's a false positive. Obviously, that's not what you need to do. Or we need to do it later. Well. Oh, hey, another one. 189. Now, don't worry about all these numbers. I am keeping track of them. And I will be reminding you guys later of what the numbers mean once we get to that point. But we're not at that point yet. I kind of like the Water Sanctuary. I think it's very cool. We're going to be rocking this vest for a little while. We're going to get a lot of clothing, I believe, in this segment, as I recall. Can I go back here? Anything back here? I cannot. Aw, okay. Well, there's only one other place to go. It's this little alcove over here. And as you see, there's a few linking books here. But there's something we should read first. Whoa! Camera interface screw. You'll see a book there, and if we go over here, there's a book over here. But I'm more interested in doing some light reading. The Water Sanctuary. Okay, where to get started? The room itself is actually pretty simple, and at first glance, doesn't seem to have much to it. Well, for your average explorer, there's actually much more here than meets the eye. Much more, at least, as far as history. It's practically dripping off the walls. Fortunately, I dig that stuff. Lucky for you, I'm also better than your average explorer. Wow, dude. Might be getting ahead of myself. Structure. Circular room with a large number of doorways leading off in each direction. Large staircase. Might need some support work. Leads to an upper level. Okay, this just doesn't work without knowing some of the history and story behind the place. Gotta start there. I've done some translation and talked with Watson. This is great stuff. Alright, the tree off the balcony. I did do a little walking around. I can't see it well. Dark, but it's an old tree. I don't know how exactly it was created or when, although certain sound material elements suggest as far back as the early 2000s, long before a guy called the Watcher came around. And it's the Watcher that this place was created for, renovated for, and dedicated to from the time it was built in the late 4000s, until the fall of Dunny. The Watcher lived during the mid-4000s, and spent most of his life hidden, secluded on ages. He wrote a book called Words, a prophetical book. Nostradamus type guy. Strange. Though it doesn't seem his prophecies caught on real well at first through a variety of events. You can ask somebody else if you want to know them all. The guy became more and more popular and then faded, then popular again. You know the deal. There was always a core group of followers, but the overall population wavered. I would imagine depending on how accurate they viewed his visions. Over the course of time, a whole lot of copies of his works were printed. We found plenty of them. As I mentioned, that tree, which I still don't know how to actually get to, was built long before the Watcher. No one at the DRC seems to know exactly what it was for. Best guesses are that the tree was built early on as a representation of the Dunny that had come here, the new tree. They definitely had a thing for trees. So the Watcher comes along and writes some prophecies. They end up becoming pretty popular, and they do deal quite a bit with this tree, as much of Dunny prophecy does. And an unknown guy builds this tree with the tree as its focus. Seems like the building was an upper-class lounge or sitting room, pub, something along those lines. The intellectuals come and discuss philosophies and politics of the day, and although there was some homage being paid to the Watcher and his thoughts and ideas. This sanctuary, whatever you want to call it, stayed successful even while ownership changed. It seems as it changed as frequently as the philosophies and religious views of the people. It wasn't until Kaddish came along, yes, our good friend Kaddish, that the thing really took off. Unfortunately, right before the fall. I've just realized I haven't moved in the past few minutes. I'm standing in a building giving an analysis of it without moving. Gotta love history. So back to it. Nice little coves in this place. Wouldn't be bad at all with a cigar and, okay, Kaddish in the fall. Kaddish was the last guy to own it, and it seems like he did some renovations. This is where the history and current day setup gets interesting. The Watcher spoke quite a bit in words about someone known as the Grower. The Grower is prophesied to do a number of things, and it seems there were numerous interpretations of the Grower. Some saw this person as little more than a great lord or king, while others say the person was a superhuman miracle worker, godlike, conquering time, space, and dimension, and everything else. The views on the Grower were as varied as you can imagine. What's important is that Kaddish views himself as the Grower, as the one the Watcher has prophesied about. As a result, he modified the pub to honor as not only the prophet, but himself as well. He seemed to be intent on fulfilling as many of the prophecies as he could. So he built this puzzling path of the shell to the tree, brought the Irkana book here, Kaddish was the engineer behind its construction, brought the Anone book here and claimed that it allowed him to travel through time, back to the Dunny homeworld as it is, and as it would be. Kaddish claimed he wrote the book. All these things to fulfill the prophecies. Even the times of Dunny were significant because the Watcher claimed to have visions of the past, present, and future. As a result, he wrote what he saw, never knowing if it would occur in the future, had already occurred in the past, or was occurring as he wrote. People flocked to the place. Not only was it the only way to travel through time, but Kaddish himself was the only one who could solve the spiral path of the shell and access the tree. In fact, he would demonstrate his ability to anyone who wanted to come by and watch. Nightly challenges were held to see if anyone else could access the room. Seems nobody else did, and further confirmed that Kaddish was the Grower. Kaddish bragged that the Watcher clearly spoke of how to solve the room in his prophecies, and that anyone could find the solution there. Easy to say when you built the thing, but maybe I don't get something. Either way, good luck reading through all of those and figuring out anything, let alone the solution to some kind of weird Dunny puzzle. Wow! Don't call us out like that! So it seems like Kaddish ran the sanctuary up to the end. Obviously, at some point we know he died. We've all seen the remains of the poor guy. An odd end for a guy that seemed to have so much. Had a book right there, but he didn't use it. But that's another story. Okay, history out of the way, and I guess I should finish with the spiral path room. I'm not a big puzzle guy, but the room seems very confusing. A switch closes the door and turns on the light, and some mechanism releases the ball back to its starting point. There are numbers scratched into the walls of the maze as well. Enough of that. I can see myself going crazy in a place like this. Ah, the Dunny. Oddly, there is no physical access to or from the city that surrounds this building. We know the building is in the Jateri district, a nice district, but there's definitely no way to get in from the outside and vice versa. Not sure if Kaddish sealed it up or if it was always this way, but I would bet the second idea. Makes it handy to limit access. If you don't have a book, you're not getting here. And that would explain why the books here were never taken or destroyed. That's it for now. I'll probably get back here again after checking Irkana and Anone. Anone. Well, you seem a little bit, obnoxious. Oh, I just realized I kind of have a nice little tie on. Very nice. So we have two ages here for the Path of the Shell. We have this age. This is Irkana, the Canyon Age. And then we have an age over here called Anone, which apparently lets you travel through time. Now, I don't know about all that. I think we're going to go to Anone first. Interesting. All this detail. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little lost at looking at the door. My bad. Welcome to the beginning of Anone. Supposedly, Kaddish built this. You're gonna see this clock symbol kind of scattered all over the place. And it's very important to remember it. It's gonna become relevant later. Now, where have you seen these before? Ooh. I like this. You know, if I'd had the money, I would absolutely build a room like this. Indoor fountains like that are stunning. Got a book? Ah, 218. Good to remember. I like how it says 000. We're at a 000 point for this age. And that is true if you link for linking points of all ages. The first initial link point for Dunny ages was marked there 0. Well, I don't see anything else we can look at around here. Let me take a quick little round before we do that. Just in case. but I don't see anything else. I do like this room. It's very cool. Off we go to Anone. Now, I'm going to say Anone can get a little confusing. Just a little confusing. But it doesn't stay confusing. Oh, hey, what are you? Hey, little buddies. Oh, what? What? Go away. They're cute. That's right. That's like push them in the water. Bye, little buddy. Oh, hey, what's that? Well, let's take a look at what that is. Shall we? Ignore these crabs. They're actually called Quabs. Yup. Science, very, very good at naming things. Oh. I see. That's interesting. Looks like there's a clock with a number of circles on it. And that is in fact a clock. You can tell it's a clock. But, you will also notice that there's all these crabs around. And if we were to maybe push one of these crabs off the... No. These crabs off the lid, let's go into the water. Into the ocean. You'll notice a tick mark on that clock disappears. So what we gotta do is find all of these crabs and push them into the ocean or the lake. Now, if you read that journal, which I did read, supposedly this is kind of a representation of what the Dunny homeworld looked like. Rather, the Dunny homeworld being called Gardernay. Supposedly this is a representation of Gardernay. Now, it's not really clear what Gardernay actually looked like, but there were supposedly a number of trees and large stone buildings. I'd imagine it looked a lot like the caverns mixed with a big forest, is what I imagine Gardernay looks like. But that's only described in the book of, I believe, the book of Dunny. Or the Book of Tiana, I forget. I think it's Book of Dunny. Haven't read it in a while. And the idea is that the Dunny basically came from a group of people called the Ronay. They lived on this age called Gardernay, but Gardernay's son started dying. So what happened is the guildmasters wrote 2 books. One of them wrote a book to a place called Terani, which means I think something like Great Tree or something. And then the other wrote to a place called Dunny, aka Earth, which also means the new tree. Means the new tree. As you can see, the Dunny very much enjoy their trees, even though they live in a big cave. Now, the Terani had a whole caste system involving slaves, which we find out about in the Book of Dunny as well, when Atris and Katran go to find survivors of the great cataclysm in the caverns, and they end up finding their way over into Kavir, out of Kavir, and discover, bye little buddy, discover that there are survivors. In fact, they also discover Terani as well, the Book of Terani, which is considered one of the 5 great classics of Dunny. The Book of Earth is one of the other 5. I don't remember what the other 3 are. Someone who's a little more well-versed in deep Myst lore could probably figure it out for you, but I don't remember. I kind of like Anone. I like this version of Anone. It's a nice age. Not an ice age, a nice age. I said a nice age. Crab friend. You know, I bet these would make really good, like, crab sticks. They look like they'd be delicious. Now let me make sure they actually fell in the water, yes. Because sometimes these crabs are a little finicky. So I found another, like a cloth to touch of any sort. Now I will say, if we were to jump in the water here, well, I'll show you what happens when we jump in the water here. We can swim, but unfortunately the current drags us. And it drags us to the right. And in dragging us to the right, it makes it very, very hard for us to escape the current or get to those outer islands. Bonk! And eventually we should end up at a waterfall here. If I hear it. But we also very much cannot swim out that way towards the edge. We are not able to go there. There is a way out of the pool. It's over here. Down this waterfall we go. This also is kind of rotating the vague spiral around this clock. And there is a way out. I'll have to show you how to get out. Like, it's over here. I think it's over here. How do I get out? How do I get out? Oh well. We'll just relt our way out. So you don't want to... I couldn't figure out how to get out. I'm stupid. There is a way out, but I couldn't figure it out because I'm big dumb. As you see, we now have a book on our shelf. Leads to Annone. This leads to the clock room in Annone. That's not where we want to go. This leads to Annone proper. There's another book for Irkana. We will go there later. Getting back to Annone. You are still... How did you get back on this island? Get off the island. Get off. Get off the island. Are they all back on the island? Yeah, I think they're all back on the island. Maybe not. They all... I think they are randomly assigned onto this island. And yes, if you do leave the age, you have to do it all over again. They all repopulate. So you can see me kicking these Quabs around a little while. They're very cute. I would have a Quab as a pet. Would you have a Quab as a pet? I'd have a Quab as a pet. And we know one thing too about the Dunny. Kadish made this age. He built this age. He worked on this age. They like to do all sorts of weird designs and stuff. All sorts of mechanisms. Oh, are you serious? Are you serious? Did we actually go in the water? Yeah, he actually went in the water. Okay, we're good. Sometimes they're a little finicky and stubborn, these Quabs. They don't always play nice. No, I need you to go the other way, please, my friend. My friend, you need to go the other direction. I need you to go into the water, my friend. Into the water, my friend. My friend, into the water. My friend, go in the water. Yes, we're good. So now we should see there's several lights that are not lit. On that clock? Well, not from there. Not from that angle. But yes, like I said, the goal is to knock them all into... Yep, you can see there's only a few dots left. Go around this island, knock a bunch of crabs into the water, and go from there. And I'll show the kind of conceit of Annone here. What its thing is, what its vibe is. I will say Annone and Irkana are ages that were previously, until Path of the Shell, only available in Uru Live. They were meant to be done with multiple people. So a lot of the puzzles for it had to change. It was meant to not take quite so long as it will take us. Can be done individually. And unfortunately, some of the timing on the puzzles in this age, before it was made for, like, Uru Complete Chronicles, did cause you to wait several hours, a very long time, which is not fun. So Cyan fixed that. Oh hey, Shellclaw. Let me boop it. Boop. So these are going to function as our Relto claws, our journey claws for the game, for this area of the game. Same for Irkana. The shell claws, as they are related to the Path of the Shell. And they will act the same as journey claws. They kind of act as bookmarks to various spots on the age. So now I saw a Quab back there, so we're going to have to go back there. I actually saw 2 Quabs. I saw one, I think, down here. Nah. So yeah, here's that egress point if you need to get back, as long as you don't fall into the center of the lake. You don't want to fall in the center of the lake. Don't fall in the center of the lake. If it's one thing you learned from Annone, it's don't fall in the center of the lake. No, what? No. Friend, no. Friend, what are you doing, my friend? Friend. Okay. All right. Sure. Wall climbing Quabs. Now I've seen it all. Yeah, you'll notice there's a jump off point. And we do want to get to that jump off point, but we can't do that right now. Because we do want to get to that far island. It's just that we can't do it just yet. We gotta get all these Quabs off of this island. There's a reason we need to do this. I'm not just doing it for funsies. I swear there is a reason we do this. I am in fact not just doing it for funsies. But there is a certain reason for it, and you will see what that reason is eventually, but not just yet. Okay. They like to scuttle various locations. Silly Quabs. Silly Quabs. Yep, they need to go in the water. And, like I said, this can take some time. Path of the Shell is very much about taking a lot of time, being patient, doing tedious seeming tasks to see if you can get something out of it, basically. All about patience. I'll come back to that crab in a second. I do want to say, if this is something what Gardner looked like, it's really pretty. I wonder if any of the Dunny that lived long enough to remember it, which there wouldn't be any by the time Kaddish came around, but if they still had memories of Gardner, if they followed Renaref to Dunny, if they still had memories of Gardner and they miss it. That is, by the way, the reason that the Dunny were preoccupied with trees and saw a tree as their religious symbol. I believe, in fact, Dunny means people of the great tree or something like that. Boop. Boop. I think this might be the last one, or like second to last one. So let's go take a look before we do any sort of like leaps of faith here. Which I've talked about Uru a lot having leaps of faith. There is still one. So that means we need to get... There's a crab on that far island. We need to go over there. I believe the jump off point is somewhere over here. And if we miss, it's okay because we can like fix it. I just hope it doesn't decide to mess up on me like it did on Garisen. That would be very, very upsetting. So we need to follow the current to get over to that tower over there. But getting that tower over there can be a bit of a bear and a half. So I'm going to try very, very hard to get on this rock. I'm going to F1. Okay. And just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, 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 swing. Keep swimming, 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 no matter what. Don't turn, don't move, just keep on swimming. Swim, 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 swim. Aha! Yes. Oh! Oh, we're on it. Okay, we're on it, we're on it, we're on it. This is where we need to go. This area the whole time is where we need to go. Now, I believe there is a note back here. I might be wrong. Aha, yes, okay. There it is, there it is. If I can walk over there, I can make it. There's like a little ledge. Can I make it on that ledge? Just barely. Yep, okay, yep, 372. There we are. And you'll notice there's another picture over there. We'll get a better picture later. I'm going to kind of like walk around this area, being very careful not to lose my grip on this very friggin' tiny ledge. Woo! Okay, we made it. We are on that far island. Good. We made it. I believe there is one tiny enemy Quab here we need to get rid of. Interesting. Or there was. Maybe he moved. Very interesting place, Anone. You're going to see me do a little bit of like finagling around here, trying to get the right angle. Aha, perfect. Perfection, perfection. Now the reason we need to get here is for this picture here. And also, sometimes a Quab can be here. Looks like a Quab is not here, though. For now. So I'm going to take a nice... Go to F1, take a nice key photo of this. And I think... I believe the Quab is not on the island anymore. I don't hear it. Where do I see it? Sometimes it appears on this island, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, we might have to actually... Yeah, we may actually have to, like, link back to Relto from here. Yeah, I think we have to link back to Relto from here. It's probably on... Watch it be on, like, not on the far island anymore, and then when I link back here, it'll be on the far island. Watch. Like, watch. That would be just my luck, wouldn't it? So we are going to be doing a lot of linking back and forth in this episode, like I said, and a lot of linking back and forth in this part of the game. Specifically on Anode. And for all I know, maybe we kicked it off the island. Maybe we kicked it off the island by going there. I don't remember. I don't know. I need to check the clock here. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. I called it! Did I not freaking call it? He's on the island, and he's not on the island, and he's on the island, and he's not on the island. Wow. This Quab is gonna drive me insane. And that is the one we need to get rid of. He's over on that far island. Now, I will say you can get in that tower, but not from that island. You cannot get into the tower from that island. It is impossible to get into the tower from that island. Which means you gotta make the jump a third time. That is our last lone Quab. He's over on that island. We gotta do it again. I am so sorry, you guys. This is not what I intended for this game to turn into, but I forgot. Uru likes to be a time sink. And just swim. Turn myself a little bit. Yep. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Too far. Come on. Come on. I hope I can make it from here. Please. Please. Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please. No! I turned too far. I turned too far. I turned too far. I turned way too far. Well, maybe I can link it in such a way that the Quab is no longer on that island. Sometimes he appears on the island, sometimes he doesn't. Again, you're going to see me do this a lot, and if it takes a really long time, I will cut it out. Because you don't need to watch me do this over and over again. Is the Quab on that island? Now he is not on the island. Where is he? Oh, he's over there. So we don't have to do that jump again. Thank God. Thank Yavo. Thank the Maker, thank the Spirits, thank the Weaver, thank Lord Gen, thank... I don't know. Thank all of the creation deities in Myst. We're good. I think we're good. I think that was the last one. So now we kicked them all off the island. And like I said, yes, we really did have to do this. But I'm very happy Cyan decided not to make us like to sometimes do the, yep, we are the only ones on this island. No. Wait. No, we're not. There's another one? I spoke too soon. I guess we're not the only ones on the island. Let me go run the link of the island real quick, make sure he's not on that island, that, far pillar. Oh, God help me. I don't know where he went. I don't know where he went. Unless he does not exist and I'm just nuts. But it says there's 2 here. What does it? Did I just drive myself insane for nothing? I'm chasing Rogue Squeeze. I've Severo to myself. He's not here. There are no Quabs here. I've Severo to myself. I just lost my mind for like half a whole minute, thinking there was another Quab here, and there's not. There are no Quabs. Phantom, there are no Quabs. You're fine. There are no Quabs. Like, if anybody heard me playing this game right now, or any of the Myst games right now, trying to double check and triple check things, they would think I'm friggin' insane. There's no Quabs. There's no Quabs. There's no Quabs, she says. But then this says there's 2. This says there's 2. That doesn't make sense. But it says from over here there's 1. That does not make any sense. Or maybe it's... No, there's 1. There's only 1 segment. It just looks like there's 2 from that angle. That's weird. Wow. Uru is now gaslighting me. Uru Ages Beyond Myst is gaslighting me. Wow. Well, we made it. We're back here. Thankfully. It'll take a minute to just friggin' think. We're back in the cathedral, which is nice. Take some time to just relax. Listen to things. Is it just me, or has this room changed a little bit? Maybe I'm going crazy. I don't know. Interesting. We'll know real quick if something changed or not. Oh! Well, something changed! Anore looks different. Very different. We have another clock again with all sorts of segments. Look at this weird tree. Yeah, that's a weird looking tree. I want to take a picture of that. Sorry, my ghost facage urges from Dead by Daylight, even though I don't really play it very much anymore. Just kind of get the better of me sometimes. Oh! They're fragile. So I think you know what we need to do. We had Quabs on the other age. We have crystals here. What we want to do is, walk into them and shatter them all. Even these little ones. Every last crystal. It's a destroyed age as well. How curious. Wonder what befell this age. It is basically like a destroyed version of Anone. I've never notified the tracks for the Path of the Shell parts of the game. If anybody knows where to find them, I'd love to know. Because the Anone music is kind of interesting. I think Arcana has some pretty interesting music, but I might be wrong. These crystal trees are really cool. I'd love to have them on my Relto. I think there's actually a fan age in Myst Online Uru Live again. Yes, it still exists. Yes, it's still updated by the fans for the fans. Spooky. That will let you add crystals into your Relto. From a different age, though. I think there's a pathway there. Maybe we can follow it. And that's the path of the Myst. We're following the path of the Shell. Now, I do want to try to make sure I don't miss anything too crazy before I go over there. Because, I don't want to fall in, because if I fall in, I have to go through Ocean Anone, and then all the way up through to Crystal Anone again. Myst Anone. Destruction Anone. Desolation Anone. Destruction, Desolation Anone. I don't even know what I'm saying. I mean, I really hope this is recording, because I don't want to have to do all this all over again. Ooh. Oh, I need to get up there somehow. Somehow I gotta get up there. Get that crystal. If I can get up there. Ooh, it's kind of like... got a weird, slight, very, very slight, and I mean really slight, really, really slight, Amateria vibe. Just a little bit. Just the crystals and the storm clouds is what is doing it. Man, if Severo caught on this age, I think he would have gone crazier a lot sooner. Yay! Maybe it's... yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was about to say there. Ignore me. You know, like I said, I like Adone. I like this version of Adone. And you're going to start seeing something real interesting with Adone. That journal did say, apparently, supposedly, Kaddish found the secrets of time travel. Now, I don't know about all that. Let me just 50-click this. Can you get up there? No? Okay. I do need to get up there to get that crystal. I don't know how to get up there. Ah, there we go. Some pretty wild ages out there. This is not even near the wildest. I think I always, on some level, slightly did not like Uru's ages, just because, as cool as the Dunny Great City was, I felt as though maybe it was missing something. We've missed a crystal. We've missed a crystal. Missing something slightly. I don't think I want to jump down there. It looks kind of like a spot of no return. I don't want to go back to the cathedral, because now we know that's going to push us through time. Ages that are at various spots in time, Anone through time, which is fascinating. I mean, supposedly you're not supposed to be able to do this. But it seems somehow Kaddish found a way. Just gonna come back to this tower. It seems to all come back to that tower, doesn't it? Yeah, there's a crystal over there we need to get. Well, remember what I said about Uru and having us take leaps of faith and trust fall exercises? Let's do another one of those now. Let us go into the mist and see what awaits us. Spooky. It's a big kind of a cool Dead by Daylight map, actually, Anone. Shifting through time would be a cool concept for a Dead by Daylight map. Aha! Shellcloth! Now, it's real interesting how these shellcloths seem to persist through two different ages, the same age in two different time periods, isn't it? Real interesting how that works. That should be the last one. You can see that burrow, that glyph that we would have needed. No longer here. It's only available in water Anone. Well, there's nothing else we can do here, so let's proceed our way back to the main island and see what happens. What a desolate place. I'd love to see an element like this where you could, like, vanish from, like, killers into a mist like that. They have, like, fog bombs now, I guess, in Dead by Daylight, but I haven't played in, like, 7 months. The game's pretty much dead to me at this point. I've said it on my channel, I probably won't be going back to it for the foreseeable future until they make some serious changes, and I am sticking with that. They have 2v8 going on right now as I'm recording this, and as much as I do enjoy 2v8 and I do miss going back into the fog, the game's not the same as it was anymore, and it won't be for me anymore, I don't think. I have not been impressed with the way they've handled things, unfortunately, so Dead by Daylight's kind of on hiatus. I didn't make a post about it, but that's my kind of formal thing. Dead by Daylight's gonna be on kind of an indefinite hiatus. Sorry, guys. So if you were here with that, sorry to disappoint. Interesting. Well, I think we know what's going on with this cathedral, don't we? As we go through it, we're going to different versions of the same age. But there's 4 here. I wonder where we're going to go next. You know, it strikes me we haven't seen anything that looks at that origin point in any of the ages. Okay! Oh, whoa! Welcome to Space Anone. What a wild place. Now, it is possible to fall through the gaps in the world here. We want to be very careful. There's nothing here for us to really do, except explore. But I like Space Anone. I am not going to jump to that island, or not going to try to jump to that island. But I am going to take a look around. I do like they use the same star texture as they use in the Barrow Caves. Very, very interesting. And yeah, I like this particular area of Anone. I like this version of Anone. I like coming here to look at the stars. And since we know stars mean so much in the Myst saga, it seems only fitting, right? They would have an age set in the stars. I wonder why there weren't more ages in the Myst series set in stars. We have Total and we have this, but we don't really have a whole lot else. Do we? Let's see if we can find a shell cloth or a linking book back someplace. Interesting that we can breathe in outer space, isn't it? That seems a little bizarre. But I guess that's this thing here. It's a dome kind of containing this part of the age. But you know, I don't think this seems so much like it's traveling through space. At times it's traveling through space. It seems almost like Kaddish kind of took the space-time thing and just kind of like flipped it on its ear a little bit. And yes, we fall through those gaps, we will link back to Relto. I don't think there's a Relto cloth in Space Anone, as far as I know. Nothing that we can do here, though, so... Let's try... going here. Well... Interesting. Well, we now know this will shift us through space-time. I don't really want to do that, though. Because I don't know where it leads. Let's go back to Relto. Maybe, if we can, maybe that shell cloth will, because we found out that shell cloth seems to apparently put us in specific locations. What happens if we try to click it while it's the space age? Because it's shifting through time, right? Seems the link shifts us through... Ah! Interesting. Now that is that far island. That explains how we get here. I'm going to touch this linking cloth. Because it is, in fact, important. If we touch it, we have now discovered that if we were to link back from the book, it would bring us through the book. It would bring us to Anone itself. But if we were to link back from the journey cloth or the shell cloth, we would end up in the last version we were in. So there's some timeline shenanigans going on. Something that seems a little bit odd, doesn't it? The journey cloths stay in their same place in relative space and in relative time. but the age does not. That's weird. That's quite weird. So, we're going to go back, and we're going to use the main page, see what happens when we do that. Aha, different spots. We're still in Space Anone. That's preserved. We're still in Space Anone. Seems like you can only change what era of Anone you go to by using a linking book. Specifically one through the cathedral. That's really weird. Linking books will always link you to the same spot in Anone. Journey cloths will always link you to the same spot in Anone. But if you're trying to move through the eras of Anone, then you have to use the linking book in the cathedral. Which seems really funny. Now, if you remember Garrison, what was going on with Garrison, it had something strange going on with its, where you could not link because things were moving. Maybe something is rotating and causing that here. I wonder. So now if we go back this way, we should, if we did everything right, end up back in the ocean Anone age. Now I know this is very confusing, there's a lot of timeline and weird shenanigans going on. I promise it will make sense later. But this seems weird, doesn't it? We got a bit of a mystery surrounding this age. Why is Anone like this? See, why is Anone like this? Why is Anone like this? How very, very strange. But I think that's going to have to be a discussion for the next video. So until next time, this has been your Phantom Safety Pin. This has been Complete Chronicles. We are still on Anone. And I think the time... Ooh, that's weird. Why is there a crack there? Something's off about that. Wonder why that is. I think we might find that out in the next video, though. Like I said, this has been Complete Chronicles. It's been your Phantom Safety Pin. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.